Welcome back, everybody, to the Nostalgia Podcast, the place where you can go to relive your most cherished memories. So today we're going to be talking, as you just heard, all about Blockbuster, specifically the chain and the movie store, and not like the TV show that just came out that was absolute trash.
Did There's a TV show that just came out?
No, I
didn't even know. I just found out about this today.
Well, I guess that Becky's answer was going to be that. But I figured Susan might know a little bit about it because Mike probably.
We got rid of Netflix, so I don't.
Well, there's the answer then. I don't know how you.
Oh yeah, they started locking it down now for United States people.
They locked it down and they upped the price, I believe, too. Right?
I don't know. Maybe my mom's the one that pays for the Netflix, so
wow. We just
I pay for the Apple One subscription.
We do the Disney, Hulu, and something else.
I know we do. Amazon Prime, because I do that. Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney, Paramount, Netflix, and I'm forgetting Max is the other one. So I have 6.
Wow.
We use Plex too. Doesn't really count.
Whoa, hey, Plex is not illegal in the least bit, as long as you're using movies that you currently have access to.
I pay monthly. Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't used Plex before. But we haven't even introduced you two. As always, you know what? No, we're going to push into after. We are joined again by Susan, who's looking to take over in the Guess the Sound again, where she got it pretty quickly last time. So maybe it'll be another time like that. Susan, how's it going?
Hey!
Hey!
That sounds like not so good, but really trying to hang in there.
I'm trying not to laugh and cry at the same time already.
All right, yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to do. I can tell you that much. But that other, the other person you heard, anyone listening is probably already aware who it is. But
yeah,
it's
Becky. They're like, I can't wait to hear his voice again.
I'm not sure that that's the case.
That's exactly what they're all saying.
How do I mute this one person?
Like, hey, can you guys re-record all of your episodes, but without Becky in them? That'd be perfect.
Oh man, when we do it in person, I'm just going to be in charge of your mute button.
You just mute.
I'm just going to continuously mute it.
Or you can just keep it on, or not. You can keep Becky on the video, and you just look at the cool blue microphone. You're like, ooh.
just zoom in on the microphone.
Yeah.
You just see it rotating color. Actually, it doesn't rotate colors, does it?
It doesn't rotate colors. It's actually so I use a software called Signal RGB, which ties all of your devices together that are supported, which is really cool because it's a one-stop shop for RGB, right? And there's a bunch of cool different like RGB designs you can do. And so this one's called Radar. So occasionally you see it. It's actually like a weird tealish green type thing because it's radar. Like it's supposed to look like a radar where there's dots and it goes around in a circle. So you see a flash of white occasionally, and that's the circle going around.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Like lighthouse.
It is very interesting.
Well, let's pull
Anyways.
back to Blockbuster here, and so anyone who doesn't remember, I don't know, people. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm guessing you remember Blockbuster, but I know they didn't open up internationally for like several years. It was like a while until they opened up.
Was it international? I don't even know.
I think it was.
Oh, nice.
It was for a little bit, and I say a little bit because there was a quick and sudden downfall that we'll talk about later. But
yeah.
Yep. So Blockbuster, it was a movie store you used to be able to go into. And this is the part that even I was talking to my little brother about this, and he did not understand what I was talking about. That like you would go in, you'd look on the shelves, you'd pick up the case, not the actual movie. You'd go up to the front and be like, this is the one I want. And they go, okay, bloop. And you pay a small amount for it. It was like $1 or something like that. And then they would go in the bag, grab your DVD, go, or not DVD, VHS, and go, put them together, and then you were off for like a week, I want to say. It's usually the time frame.
At least a week.
Yeah. And then a library book where you brought it back. But we'll talk more about Blockbuster later on because, as you all know, at the very beginning, we like to do Guess That Sound, the wonderful game where I award points if Becky or Susan can guess the sound that I play.
Is it really going to be a sound, or is it like a song.
It is not a song at all. It is actually a sound.
Spoiler alert.
I need to be
Jeez.
prepared.
Having to do with movies, because I figured Blockbuster would be a nice little time.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be an opening film. It's like
So, I have it all prepped up and ready to go. But I know for the point system, we are going to give 5 points if you guys get it in the first try. It's going to be 3 points for the second, 1 point for the third, and then after that, it doesn't count. It's just for kicks and giggles. So you two are working together, though. That is different this time than last time you're on. So you two can talk about what you think it is, brainstorm. I'll give you a little bit of time each time, and we'll see if you guys can guess it.
Okay, actually, I'll say what I'm about to say after Guess That Sound. Let's do it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, are you two ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to give you 4 seconds because I think 2 seconds is just not enough to actually know what it is. So maybe we'll go 3. Ready? All right, here we go.
Oh my god, what is that entertainment studio? It's the DreamWorks? The fishing pole?
Gotta work as a team.
That sounds like it.
Becky?
I think you're right.
What's your guess?
The DreamWorks intro.
Intro?
Right? Like the intro where they're like sitting on the moon,
yeah, he's on
the crescent
moon, and the little kid is in the fishing bowl. Blink.
All right, is it in fact DreamWorks? It's always longer than I think it is. Maybe I just need a smaller drum roll. But it is, in fact, DreamWorks.
Nice.
So if I didn't give you the quick little couple seconds there, if you just listened to like the first 2 seconds of it, that was it.
Huh.
And I feel like that's too much like a Disney intro.
Well, yeah, that's a common intro with a bunch of opening film.
Yeah, it's just like a crescendo, like everybody's got a crescendo.
Yeah. And I was like, I should probably give him a little bit more than that. It's kind of not fair, but like the second you hear the in the water, it's like, okay, you
dude, can we just talk about how both Susan and Amanda absolutely crush Guess That Sound? I am pretty sure women's brains just have more processing power. It's faster.
No, it's true because my cousin works in the film industry, and he said all the editors are females because they can multitask and do it all.
Yeah, like they just like it was just like bam, I know what that noise is. Yeah.
See, man, it's just not fair because Becky's getting all these points from everyone else getting it right.
Okay, so that leads into what I was about to say. So I think what we should actually do, since I'm on like every single episode, is that I shouldn't get points. I'm here as a support thing. Like the other person is just there as a support, and the guests get points only.
Okay, all right, I can get behind that.
Or you can get like tiny points.
We gave him half points, and he's still ahead.
I was thinking half point because I was trying to figure out how to balance it, but even half point seems excessive when like Susan's on once every 5 episodes, but I'm on every episode. That still could. I don't know.
And a fifth of the points is weird, and I don't want to do decimals and have to do math this late at night. Because for anyone who doesn't know, it's literally like 10:30 at night right now when we're recording this. But that concludes Guess That Sound with 5 points going over to Susan, which means she is now tied for first place with Amanda.
See, I told you.
Yeah, it seems that way. Because Becky doesn't listen to movies or anything. What is there like that sound specifically? Does it remind you of a very specific movie that you can think of?
Shrek.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was that way for everybody or if it was just
it's gotta be. DreamWorks is Shrek, basically, at this point.
Because I mean DreamWorks is also
Shrek is a good interlude into Blockbuster because it started out with VHS and then they started coming out with DVDs.
The original one was on VHS. For anyone listening who doesn't know what VHSs are, screw you.
Literally, you have to use a pencil if you want to rewind it back manually, like a cassette.
And so this is the one time I can finally flaunt something about how I maybe wasn't super poor. We had a VHS rewinder. Like we had the device that was just for rewinding VHSs. Yeah. I was like, I don't know where we scored that thing. We like,
but I don't know. I thought Like we had a black VHS player and it had the rewind button in it.
Not all of them had that back.
Well,
Oh.
yeah, so ours
Oh.
did have the rewind button, but it was super slow in those. Like in the actual
Oh.
VHS players, it was like super slow, but this is a machine that literally its sole purpose is to rewind them, and it's just like blazing fast.
And
And I
You know
remember
how things come full circle. I've been watching Psych on
my
Amazon
God.
Prime, and
Love Psych.
because I've seen it all already, I go back.
Yeah.
I rewatch video or TV shows all the time. Like it's what I do in my spare time while I'm doing other stuff. And Psych is one of the ones that I go back in and watch. And because of that, Amazon Prime remembers where you left off, but it also knows to play the next episode while the credits are rolling. So when you go back and rewatch it, it starts every single one of them at the credits. Like someone hasn't rewound the stupid VHS, and I have to go back and wait for it to go all the way across,
Oh,
and
that's
then
funny.
go. It's stupid. Amazon, get your shit together.
Yeah, I wish
Jesus.
Amazon would get their caption button to work. That'd be great.
Does it not work?
It doesn't work.
See, I use caption on most of the stuff I listen to because I'll usually listen to it like quieter in
Well-
the background or something.
My guilty pleasure are K-pop or K-dramas.
You can't speak
So-
Korean?
I can't speak Korean. I'm not Kim. It's a lot harder than I thought.
Yes, it's very difficult.
So, like, there's TV shows that I want to watch on Amazon Prime that I used to watch on Netflix, but I can't watch on Netflix because you know why. And the caption button doesn't work. So I'm like, I don't know what they're saying.
That sucks. Yeah, especially for that reason. And actually, check this
Yeah.
out. I got these at a Korean market the other day.
Oh.
These are limited edition
Oh,
Lay's
yeah.
potato chips that
What
are
flavor?
beef Wellington.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Those are I've actually it's funny.
Should get
I've
those
had
from Mike.
those.
Have you?
Yeah.
Does it taste like a beef Wellington?
They're pretty good. I mean, I've actually never had an actual beef Wellington, and it's one of my goals to actually like make one myself.
Good luck.
I know, because I'm not particularly a cook or anything. You know, like I can cook things. I'm not an invalid, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I've never had it, and I want to. But those chips are pretty solid. Amanda found them at an FYE.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, like apparently FYE has like this big like the Japan crates and stuff like that they sell on the shelves, and so apparently they just started getting some of these weird import chips and stuff like to
Yeah.
go
Well,
along
I
with
bet
that.
that helps boost their sales because it's not.
Yeah, because
the
nobody goes
world
there to buy
anymore.
records or anything. Yeah,
They have really good t-shirt prices though.
do they?
Yes. But and for anyone, I don't want to get roasted in comments or anything. I'm aware that those are Chinese and not Korean, but I have an international spot or an international grocery store near me that has Korean stuff. That's where I go to shop for that kind of stuff, and they had these as well. So, because like there's a whole bunch of writing on it that is in fact Chinese and not Korean. So,
Oh,
but
All right.
yeah, that's enough. We've talked about random stuff for enough time here. Let's go ahead and move on to Blockbuster. So, anyone who isn't aware, I already said that. We're gonna just
Blockbuster opened
cut
up
that,
at
cut that.
1985.
85, which means
wow.
way earlier than I remember. But it only started as a couple stores. I believe they bought out
Yeah.
another store, and then they realized how the person who opened it and started it was actually a programmer. So he was able to write
Well-
the back end database system.
Nice.
Really? That's not what
Yeah.
History Channel says.
I'm like 99% sure that that's the case.
David Cook.
David Cook. He was a programmer.
It
I can
just
do
says
this.
that
Hold
he
on.
provided computer software services to the oil and gas industry in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, so he did, I mean, programming stuff for them. I'm like 90% sure. Because he, like, the whole reason that Blockbuster was able to succeed the way it could and expand and all this stuff is specifically because their back-end system was so rock solid compared to these other places that are, like, family-owned. That
Like
were just
Patrick
kind of like
Starr's
pen and
house?
paper. Like what?
Like Patrick Starr's house?
Like, was there an episode of SpongeBob that was was like that.
No, I just meant he said rock
solid.
hard.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
rock solid, not rock hard. Jesus,
Patrick, no! God, that makes way more
Patrick,
sense.
why do you have 6 arms? Oh my god!
So, like we talked about in the last episode, I haven't seen like more than like 4 or 5 episodes of SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah, Patrick lives under a rock. His house is a rock.
He lives under a rock, but I wasn't sure if there was like an episode of him where he like did VHS sales out of his house, and like he had a rock solid back end system that he programmed.
He's not that smart.
No. In one
episode, he's really smart because he hits his head and his brain connects finally. Yeah.
He's like, and then he's smarter than SpongeBob, and SpongeBob's like, "Oh, Patrick doesn't want to do fun stuff with me anymore because I'm too childish."
Yeah.
Well, that was true.
Anyways, Blockbuster.
Yes.
Anywho.
So there we actually had quite a few around me, but the problem was because of where I lived. It was 30 minutes from any Blockbuster, and I'll be damned if my parents were taking me to Blockbuster once a week to grab a movie and return it. Didn't happen. I wasn't that lucky. We actually had a small-time video store that only had like a couple videos in it at all times. That was like down the road from our house that we would use most of the time. But there definitely was Blockbusters around, and we did go to them. But I'll tell that story in a little bit here. Becky, do you go ahead?
Huh? I was just going to say, without getting into specifics, the closest one to you was probably the one that was in the city I grew up in.
Yes,
as well. That was probably the closest one.
45 minutes away.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a little bit of a hike just for a movie.
Exactly. So there were times where we made it work, but what about you, Susan? Did you have Blockbusters around when you were a kid?
Yes,
I think I know the answer.
Everywhere. Oh God. Sorry, I'm falling off the chair. Everything I needed was within 15 minutes.
Oh,
of where I lived.
It's like walking distance.
Yeah, pretty much. So I had like my Baskin Robbins, my dance studio, the coolest place ever for kids. It was called like Zoomy. It wasn't Zoomies. It was something that started with a Z, but it had like
Zoomies is a skateboard shop.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not that, but it started with a Z, and it was really fun and cool, and it was huge. And then there was also a Blockbuster, like the best pizza place there. Everything was in one little vicinity, and then like my school was surrounding it, and then of course homes. So Blockbuster was awesome. We'd go there, we'd check out all the VHSs that were cool, and I liked one of the aspects that I liked about it is what Barnes and Nobles kind of does, where they leave little sticky or index cards next to the movies, and they describe what they thought, their little movie review from the employees that worked there.
Really?
Yeah, it was really fun. Like they had it in all the kids section, the action and adult section. Of course, I didn't really go in the adult section because I was a kid in middle school.
Blockbuster didn't have adult. Well, I shouldn't say that.
I mean, like more like
they had like
all
rated R
section.
Not the.
I was gonna say
you could go to Blockbuster and get Girls Gone Wild.
Not that section.
Wrong section. Why did it just get dark? All the lights went off.
Why is it a little stuffy over here? Is this a Spencer's?
Jeez. Oh God, no, there's a store and a half.
Oh yeah.
But it was so much fun. And then the desk, it was kind of like a U. You'd go in you had to go into the Blockbuster, into the entryway, drop your movies off, and then you could browse around in the area and then come back to the exit where they'd have all of the cotton candy, the rest of the candy, they'd have some soda, and it was always lit perfectly that you would want. You'd beg your parents, like, can I please have it? Can I please have the candy and cotton candy? Because it always looks so much better than it did anywhere else. And you're like, no. I'm like, fine. I'll keep it.
Well, because it was 3 times as expensive.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't know anything about money.
Well, exactly.
I don't know what money is.
You're at your favorite place getting a movie that you want to watch, and you're like, "There's candy here too. You gotta have that candy because that candy goes with the movie I'm gonna watch."
Yeah, Well, then they say no, and then you're like, since you don't understand money, you're like, oh, so you don't love me. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, and you're like, fine. I'm only scared of a stupid movie.
I can see it. Becky just pushing over all sorts of different candy aisles.
No, for some,
I can't
No,
have it. No one
Blockbuster
can.
didn't have candy aisles. It was the checkout
Just up front.
candy.
Yes.
for some reason, my sister and I were both very, very good in public. Like we were like angel children in public.
I like how you put in public there.
Yes, because we tormented the shit
you
out
were
of my
deep.
parents. Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I hope your daughter's doing the same thing.
Oh God, yeah. Yes, it definitely. That's what my mom just laughs like every time. Like my daughter will be like sprinting around the dining room screaming or something, and my mom's just like,
Your mom just kicks back, lights up a cigar.
yeah, it's just
Oh,
finally, I've been waiting for this.
That's what my aunt does to my cousin. She's like, karma.
Yeah,
She's exactly like you.
yeah.
oh, poor Becky.
But yeah, what was cool about the Blockbusters though is that at that little that little section at the checkout where they have candy, they had like movie theater candy where you couldn't
They
really
did.
go to a Walmart and get that. Like they had like the
Yeah.
cookie dough bites and like the little boxes of stuff
Yeah,
like
so
that.
it wasn't
Really?
your average candy that in
Yeah.
the grocery store. No, it
Yeah.
was special movie themed candy.
Why
Yeah.
do I not remember? I didn't get sweet things. I'm like, why do I not remember the candy as vividly? Like, I remember Blockbusters pretty like heavily because we went to them actually a lot for not videos. So we did get some, but when we went to a video store, we wanted to go to one of the ones close to us just because it was easier to drop it back off instead of having to drive all the way like 30, 40 minutes to drop it off. So instead, what we did was later on, Blockbuster started branching out from just their VHSs and doing video games and video game consoles,
Yep.
which is a big step because that is when I started to grab a hold of Blockbuster way more. So we would go about once a month because you could actually hold on to the video game rentals a little bit longer than you could the videos.
Which was
And-
shocking. Like very
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah, right? And so I just remember going to Blockbuster with my parents, and we had the PS1 at the time, and my parents only bought us the Tony Hawk Pro Skater game, just the first one. And then they didn't buy any other games because they were like, actually, they were like $40 back then, I think it was, right?
To rent?
Yeah.
No,
They're
to
pretty-
buy. To buy.
Oh, okay.
To buy.
Yeah, no, they were pretty expensive to buy actually back then, especially for back then's money,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we would just go to Blockbuster and they'd be like, okay, pick out a game you want. And I remember getting Crash Bandicoot, the first one.
Yes.
And I brought it home and played the hell out of it. It was so good. Like that game was revolutionary on how they actually used the game itself to be a completely 3D game and have all these like really cool level development and stuff.
Yeah.
It was just an absolute blast of a game. They did remake it actually.
I
They did
haven't
the
succeeded in-
Insane
Yeah.
trilogy. Yeah.
Yes. And
I have that on the Switch.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
It was
I have
just
the
a
PS1
wonderful
still.
way. What was that?
I have the PS1 still.
I do too. I have the games for the PS1 as well.
I only have 3
so-
games. And then
Ugh.
it's since my family was not really video game, it's more like you get an hour on the computer and you have to spend the rest of it outside or whatnot. So
Oh yeah. What games you got?
this PS1 is from my cousin who's younger than me. And we got hand-me-down it. So we had Spyro, Crash Bandit, and a racing game that I can't remember, but it only had 3
Gran
songs.
Turismo.
No,
Yeah. If it only had 3 cars.
no, 3 songs.
Oh, 3 songs?
It only had 3 songs on the entire
That's all they could fit,
driving
man.
race track. Yeah, so one of them was garbage. I only like it when it rains. And then I think there was
I don't know. It had to have been an
what's his
early
face?
Need for Speed.
I don't
You think so?
Yeah, like Hot Pursuit or something weird like that originally came out for the PS1. I can't. Yeah, because there weren't that many racing games. Because racing games are very difficult to make because
Yeah.
the physics and everything have to be very precise, and that's why most of the ones, when you're playing on anything before a PlayStation, didn't actually. You couldn't like maneuver around the road. You could just go straight, turn, straight, or turn.
I guess it was Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo,
Was it?
I guess so.
great game.
Because
Yeah,
that's
they
the
were the
only
ones
logo
pioneering it.
that I'm popping up that kind of looks familiar.
I mean,
the
the
basement.
other two are straight bangers, right? I mean, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot
Oh yeah.
are amazing games. Again, they made remakes of both of them.
They do.
Yep.
I do have the Spyro trilogy now on my Switch.
Yeah.
It's so good. I'm so happy they came out with it on the Switch. There was talk of them being a PlayStation only release early on.
I would have been really bummed.
Oh.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
But we got that. We got Crash Bandicoot and we played it and then we returned it. And then we got Abe's Odyssey, which ended up being just a not great game. It was okay, but it was just a little bit odd. I think it was called Oddworld or something like that. And we didn't like it, so we brought it back. And then for the next like 3 times, we got Crash Bandicoot. And then my parents realized it might just be cheaper for this time to buy the actual game.
That's funny.
And we wound up actually buying it, so we had that one. But we definitely rented a lot of games from there.
It was a really cool way of like giving games a test drive, you know, because
Yeah. But it wasn't just games. They did consoles too. You could rent consoles.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's crazy. I was never able to rent a console from them, but I've definitely rented a couple games.
It was probably too expensive.
Cool.
Yeah, who even knows how much that was, especially because like, you know, it's probably like renting a car now where like you get a ding on it and they're like, oh, you better pay the full price of the console now because you scratched it or some stupid shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, they did that with the VHSs or when they moved over to DVDs, right? If you were the one, if you scratched it and it didn't work when you brought it back, they knew who the last person was and you get charged for it.
Yep.
Yep. Did you either of you have any astronomical late fees from Blockbuster?
I don't think so.
I can't remember. No.
Not that I'm aware of.
So I guess late fees were actually a big reason why their business model ended up not working later on, and it caused them to go under because like over 50% of their revenue was from late fees.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a big amount. And like when they actually filed for bankruptcy and stuff, it was because they started doing these like free trials and stuff of the mail-in system, which I know is down the road a little bit, but they went from VHSs. Do you guys remember the step up from VHS to DVD at Blockbuster? And like when you would get the DVD, it'd be like nothing inside it.
Yeah, like nothing in the case.
Yeah,
and then they'd bust out. Then they'd bust out the binder.
Yeah,
the disc binder. Yeah,
with the VHSs, like there was nothing in the VHS.
Some did and some didn't, I believe, with the VHS. But yeah, most of them were just empty cartons with the picture on the front of it, and then you go up to the thing and they'd put it in there.
Yeah, that's the same with the DVD, though, isn't it?
But
and then there was the ones that were just like the black or the grayscale.
Yeah,
this is what it is. Kind of what you see at GameStop or Walmart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember watching a DVD instead of a VHS and just thinking, "Oh my god, this looks amazing! Like this is peak quality. It can't get better than this. There's nothing better." Now, like you go back and watch DVD quality, and it's like, "Oh my god, did I forget on YouTube to switch it from 240p?"
I know. I recently saw that. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy my mom a DVD because we like DVDs and movies and stuff." And then I was watching it on the TV. I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
the quality is terrible."
Yeah, they didn't even. I mean, early DVDs weren't even 16:9 aspect ratio.
No, they weren't. They were 4:3.
Yeah.
And they also weren't even 720p because that didn't happen until HD happened.
Right.
So these were like 480p on square 4:3 TVs, but they were never made for something that big, right?
Right. Like they looked good on that TV.
Exactly. It's like you got a 32-inch TV and it was like big. It was gigantic for the time. Like, oh my god, your living room has a 32-inch TV. Let's watch this awesome DVD that I have.
Well, then you don't have a TV just on a regular TV stand. You have it in a cupboard kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like
cover
the
was
And then
big,
you have the
the big
doors and they
TV
pull
cabinets. Yeah.
and they hide the TV, and they're like, "Oh, it's just furniture."
Do you have the fancy one that had like the glass doors that you could still see behind it, and they had the magnets where you had to clip? Yeah, my grandparents had
Ew.
this. Yeah, you had to like press it, and they were like magnetic, and they went whoop, and then
Oh,
they
I know what you're
slid
talking
in, so they didn't take up any space.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah.
what my mom has, except wood.
Wood.
So my mom
Wood.
had.
So they
at
don't
her-
just open like regular doors; they slide in.
Oh,
She has
yeah.
a
So
small flat screen in there now.
my mom's entertainment center was one where instead, like the doors, like there were technically 4 doors, but it was 2 doors with 2 panels each, and there was hinges between the two. Like each panel was thin, and they disconnected in the middle. So basically, the doors opened and then folded in once on itself, and the outside
What?
was mirrors. Yeah.
Interesting.
So like the outs. So like the
It's
door.
like the TVs with mirrors on the side, and like
Yeah, and so like it's like a cabinet where you open up the doors and the doors kind of fold, and but the outside of it was mirrors. So if it's closed and the TV's not visible, you just see yourself.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Everything.
you're like,
Does-
"Oh, do I have something on me?" Just look at the TV.
Everything back then was about concealing technology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was all about. I don't want.
Now we're mounting TVs on the walls and
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You
you're
got.
like, "Where do I
mean,
put a TV?"
Oh man, LG has the new wallpaper TVs. If you haven't seen them, they're
think
like
I have.
incredibly thin, and you literally have to cut a hole in your wall so they mount inwards for the
Oh.
cables to go. Yeah, they're super weird, but they look super cool because they're
I guess
super
I
thin.
haven't seen it.
Super. Yeah,
Super,
they're really
super.
neat. And I mean, nowadays, who the heck cares if your TV stands out, right? I mean,
Yeah.
some people have them mounted on walls and stuff, but that's about the extent of it. They don't really. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yep. It's part of what you assume is in most rooms of people's houses now, but it was not that way before.
no,
It
yeah.
was not.
I
No.
You'd
remember
walk into a
getting-
house and you like wouldn't even see anything, like no technology. Basically, it'd be like,
Ooh,
oh,
except when the new flat screens came out, and they had like they were giant, and they were giant in the back, and they had the entertainment center kind of like screwed in on the
Underneath
bottom,
it?
so you
Yeah,
get the
the,
whole silver
oh.
thing.
plasma
My
Yeah.
friends who were richer
Mhm.
had that, and they also had, kind of off topic, another giant cage with a parrot in there. So they had a giant parrot cage and a giant TV.
I'm just picturing
was
like
so
sculptures in
weird.
their front yard, just pillars going into their
Yeah.
doorway, two big,
Marble.
gigantic Olympic-sized pools in their backyard, the parrot cage and
Not
the
that
TV.
big.
So apparently, my parents, they used to have a projector TV, like a 50-inch projector TV, where it like like the projector TVs where it would slide down into the box
Oh,
underneath
yeah.
it. They apparently had one, and it
They're
my
rich.
dad had it in his basement for the longest time, but it like as long as I've been self-aware, like old enough to know that I'm a human, it didn't work, and so we never got to
Aw.
use it. Yeah,
Aw.
That's a
I was
bummer.
like all the time. I'd be like, Dad, why fix your TV? Like I want to use a
Yeah.
50-inch
Shit, Dad,
TV.
Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah, now like 50-inch TVs you can pick one up for like $300.
yeah.
That's like 4K, 55-inch.
It's-
Like,
Smart TV, yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you can get a Roku TV that's like a 55-inch Roku TV for like $400, I think.
oh my god, I remember my parents were cleaning out a house one time. I forget where, but one of the things that they had, I convinced them to let me keep, and it was a battery powered portable TV. The screen was like this big.
Oh yeah,
But there was
like
like
in the
that
Goofy
wide.
movie.
Kinda, yeah. It was like that, and you had to crank it to charge the battery.
Rugrats.
Or
Yeah.
you could plug it in. Yeah, it didn't have
That's
any
awesome.
connectors on it, so you couldn't plug anything in. It just had the antenna ears.
Yeah. Because that's all
Yeah.
you could watch.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
the radio, but
Mhm.
TV.
You guys
And
remember
actually-
those portable DVD players?
Oh my god, I was
Yeah,
not fancy
they're
enough
like
to have one of those.
I wasn't either, but I could observe them from afar, where it's like a
Right.
little laptop. You just put the disc in it and you're good to go.
Yeah, they have the screen built in and everything. They got the headphone jack on the side. And oh, man.
Yeah, and the nice dark gray plastic.
That was... Yeah,
My friends had them. I did not have them.
Yeah, same thing. You used to be able to use the headphone splitter and just like split the headphones, and I would wear some so I could watch it too and stuff. Yeah, because we definitely didn't have that.
Yeah,
Mike probably had one because he was like rich apparently.
Can you ask Mike if he had a mobile DVD player?
Mike,
I really kind of want to know.
Did you have a portable DVD player? No.
Oh, wow. Even above him. Jeez, yeah.
Wow.
Those things are really cool, though.
It's like the 1% had these as children.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So here's a question. Do you think you would have gotten in trouble? Oh, no. Because I guess that's a really good reason they didn't put the DVDs in the actual case, right? Can you imagine walking into Blockbuster with a portable DVD player? Just grabbing one of the DVDs, slapping it in, and just chillaxing in the back watching a movie.
You could probably do that at nowadays you could do it at a Walmart because now DVDs are just in dump bins right now.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like,
but they're the lowest quality. Like I got Flubber out of there thinking like, this is awesome, Flubber's cool, and it's slightly cut off.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
It's terrible. They
Walmart's selling bootleg
DVDs. That's why they're so cheap.
Oh my god, can you imagine if Walmart just bought up a lump sum of like pirated DVDs?
Yeah.
Turns out Walmart would try and download a car.
Yeah. Dude, so this is almost on the topic of Blockbuster because you want to know what we did instead of Blockbuster most of the time? Because we only really went to Blockbuster a few times that I even remember, like just to rent movies or whatever. So my aunt dated this guy and he knew this other guy who would obtain items and then sell them to people that he knew. And and so this is also how my dad got like a really nice power drill and stuff, but also an ass load of DVDs, like tons of DVDs, and but they were pretty good though. Like I don't know how he obtained them, but you could tell they were like printed, because remember how you could buy like the disc shaped labels and you could print shit on them and then slap them on a seat and then like a DVD. Oh, yeah. That's what these were.
I did that in college.
Yeah, that's like what these were, but they would take so the biggest example that's jumping out at me right now is Ghost Ship. I don't know if you guys have watched that movie.
Never seen it.
It's kind of weird, but the movie Ghost Ship, it would actually have what would be printed on the Ghost Ship DVD printed on this label and slapped on the DVD. But
they used to have HP did the Inscriber drive.
Oh yeah,
I had a friend in college who
right
had
in the
that.
disc drive.
He was the coolest dude ever.
Yeah,
of course he excelled in graphic design, and then I'm not that printer, not that high tech.
It was HP's thing back then, because I remember one of my laptops had it. I thought it was so cool.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that sketchy person that you were talking about was actually my grandpa, who didn't know what he was doing. So he bought this machine from a friend of his that his friend plugged in and everything, and it had I remember 100 gig hard drive on it, and it had RCA cables in and RCA cables out. So you would run the cable box to the to this little device. Box. And actually, I think it was a coaxial at that. I don't remember, one of those S video or something. And then you'd run it to the TV.
The cable.
So what you could do is you would, if there was a movie on TV that you wanted, obviously you could do this with VHSs too. But the little device he had would download it onto this device, and then right on the device you could burn it to a disc.
So he'd
come over. What was that?
Like DVRing it?
Yeah, he would come over one day. He goes, "Hey, I watched this movie the other day. Here you go." Why did you say Indiana Jones and Sharpie on the top of this, Grandpa? And that was just literally how we got
hilarious.
Our DVDs, because he'd see it on TV and download.
Here you go.
That's funny.
It's like a handshake with cash in it to get in.
Yeah. Hey, I got I got your Indiana Jones there, sonny boy.
He's telling
No,
them on the
you
side
should
of
be
New
like,
York City.
"You want some candy?" God.
Yeah. He's got free DVDs spray painted on the side of his white van
Oh, man, I took this to a dark place again. Jeez.
every time.
I'm telling this nice story about how my grandpa used to get us free stuff.
Susan started it.
Well, the going back to Blockbuster, the evolution of Blockbuster went from this like you go in like a movie store, you'd get the family video or movie or whatever you guys are gonna watch. Like,
Didn't they have
a
like
special
different
occasion.
plans?
Hmm?
Didn't they have like different family plans that you could get discounts on?
Later on, they did. Yes, that was
Okay.
like 2 CEOs in when they started not doing great. They started doing a subscription service like VIP Pass or
No.
something like that.
Like this was
the-
before. It
I
was
believe
before
at
Netflix
least.
was the thing.
Yeah, they did there were I forget the reasoning for it now, but yeah, they had a special like VIP version of it. But like, did you guys like when you? I know for us going to Blockbuster was like the special occasion. So when we went out there to make the trip, we also made the trip to go grab pizza and wings, and we'd always watch movies as a family and eat pizza and wings. I don't know if either of you did that.
I can't remember that far back.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean,
As
it
we
was
discussed
definitely.
in my first episode, I was born in the 1930s, I think, John.
That's true.
Oh
yes. Back in my day, we didn't have pizza.
What do you call this dough?
Oh
Sauce
man,
on
when
it.
you could get 2 pizzas and 50 wings for $13.
Yeah, that might be a little cheap, actually. That's
No,
a
I
little
think it
low.
was
No,
like-
I
it
just
was-
remember because I would have dance class, and then after dance, we'd go to the pizza place, and it was a cool pizza little shop because it had a kind of like a stage seating area, so you could go up the stairs and eat up there, and then like there's the hallway to the checkout or to the cashier. You could also eat below, but it was cool to eat up top.
That's where the cool people sat.
Yeah, that's where I always sat.
Oh,
Unless
so never
that
mind.
top was already filled and then we had to sit on the bottom.
I don't know. I guess it was just because
Peasants.
it was such a special occasion for us that we always tended to get pizza and wings with it too, and make like a night out of it.
Yeah,
instead.
it was
That makes
kind of like that for us too. Like we because like I mean obviously we didn't have to take like a half-hour trek to get it because it was we were like maybe 5 or 10 minutes away from the Blockbuster
Sure.
in the city, but
City.
Around the corner.
yeah, in the city, but it was still like a whole thing. Yeah, like we would do, we would get pizza or something, takeout of some sort, and and we would all watch whatever movies we picked.
I guess it was
Yeah,
just
'cause,
you
I
and
mean-
your sister and your parents, right?
Yeah, yep.
'Cause I know. Well, I guess for me then it was me, my sister, and my brother, and our parents. So that's not that much different. I was gonna say like I forget
It's
you're not
just
an
one
only
more brother.
child sometimes.
Yeah. No, I have my older sister. Yep.
Yeah.
And so we only had one VHS player in the house, which was
Mhm.
the living room. So if any of us wanted to watch, because we might get a couple movies, like my parents would get a movie that they wanted to watch, right? That's like a more mature
From
theme.
the movie store next door.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, this is from the Blockbuster After Dark.
Blockbuster After Dark.
Yeah.
There's like a
when you buy
bouncer in the
Eclipse
back.
gum. It's all black because it's dirty.
And just ID, ma'am.
Yeah. Can't see your ID. But yeah, and so like we would get to pick a couple movies or whatever and make a whole thing out of it. I think one of the movies that we rented one time, and they actually let us watch this rated R movie, was the Blair Witch Project. I have very,
jeez.
very specific memories of watching the Blair Witch Project as a family, but I was playing with a light bright in the living room while they were watching the movie.
All right, I can see that's an interesting core.
I'm
memory
jealous you
there.
had a light bright. I didn't get.
Yeah,
have a
I
light
think we
bright.
like just gotten it too.
cool.
Like it was like brand new, so I was like, I want to play with this right now. Like I want this.
Never had it. That was
yeah.
too bougie for me.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes
Yeah, it was a
they
rich people toy.
Yeah.
I know, which is really funny considering actually, you know what? That was kind of a different era compared to like the cell phone episode because my parents were together at the time. Yeah, so it was a lot different monetarily then, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I never had one of those. But the cool thing was, towards the end of Blockbuster, one of their biggest rivals. I know you probably heard. I mean, everyone tells the story of Blockbuster went out because Netflix streaming started happening and no one wanted to go to these DVD places. But in reality, the two reasons that it stopped happening is because Redbox became a thing.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you didn't have to go in anywhere. You just
Yeah,
went
it
to
was
the
before
machine.
Netflix, really.
Yeah, grabbed what you want and left. But the other reason is because Netflix came out. It wasn't the streaming aspect of it. It was the sending DVDs right to your house.
To the house, yep.
Yeah, so now suddenly you went from having to, someone like me, where I had to drive, my parents had to drive 30, 40 minutes away to get this thing, when instead you're online and just click, I want this DVD, this DVD, this DVD, and they sent it right to your house with a pre-done envelope to send it right back when you're done.
Yep. Similarly, among that same vein, something else also encroached on the video game industry part of Blockbuster, like GameFly. Remember when GameFly came out? You'd see commercials for GameFly. I never used this
exact thing.
Yeah, I never used GameFly, but it was basically Netflix for games. So it's like you had Netflix and then you had GameFly, and it was like, oh, we don't need Blockbuster anymore.
Wow, I forgot GameFly was even a thing. But the instant you said it, it's like, 100% I use that.
Again, you see the commercials on all the time. Or I did because I didn't play games with it.
Yeah, I never used GameFly because, like, I don't know, my parents didn't really like doing, like, they were kind of like old fashioned where they didn't do like over the phone or over the internet purchasing of things, you know, like services were weird to them. They wanted to go to a brick and mortar place. So they were keeping Blockbuster going in our town for sure. But
yeah, that was, we did a lot more of that ordering online and bringing it in kind of thing. Because we still wanted to watch the movies and stuff, but going that far for them was basically just not something they wanted to do. And I don't blame them. Like if you told me like it's like 6 o'clock at night and you're like, I want to go watch a movie. It's like, okay, great. I'm going to make a 2-hour freaking trip into the city to go grab one DVD and maybe some pizza just to come back.
You don't get just one DVD. You get 3 at least.
Well, we did not do multiple. I think we maybe got like 2 at most.
We were like,
because you had to drive back. And we didn't really watch a ton of movies back then. Really, I didn't start watching a lot of movies until like after college days.
I still don't watch a lot of movies.
No, you really don't.
Yeah,
you really don't. We still don't even know what the next monthly movie night's going to be.
I know. You know what a movie that I have watched, it actually came up today because my dad quoted it. That we should do, maybe not for this next one, but we should do Forrest Gump for one of them.
Mama almost said.
Yeah, that's a good candidate.
Alligators are only...
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Didn't forget to mention during the Blockbuster segment is when Mike noted about the Pokemon
Snap. The snap machines.
The snap machines. Because they looked like I think about? they looked like
they were like photo
God, I'm blanking out. Things. But they're like the smaller version of when you go into like a pinball machine place and you have
an arcade.
Yes.
Like a ticket.
Totally just blinked out of my mind. They look like a miniature version of an arcade booth with a smaller screen, and you could like put a cartridge in there, and then you were able to print out the pictures. I didn't. I just witnessed it. Like my friends did it, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but it looks really cool, and I wish I had that. But I feel like there wasn't just the Pokemon Snap. There was like another camera thing you could do as well and upload the cartridge, and you could have these 2 like 1x1 pictures, black and white, really pixelated, come out of the machine as well. And it was cool because you're like, I'm a kid, I have fun pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pokemon Snap thing was pretty cool. Because used to as some I didn't have an N64 back then, so it was just like friends of mine had played at their house. So I never had a reason to go to it.
Same.
But I'm pretty sure these things are like the Pokemon ones are very sought after. Like they're pretty freaking expensive. Last time I checked, to be able to
The
grab it, 'cause
machines or the pictures?
the machines.
Oh,
I know a bunch of people used to actually mod them out to have Pokemon Snap running because they actually had a N64 controller on them. So you used to be able to use that as the input and make Pokemon Snap on it. But I don't remember if they did by default have like a version of it or if it was just like a knockdown version that just printed the pictures. I'm looking at like pictures of them right now. And man, I don't even remember seeing them. And it's probably just because I didn't care as a kid because I didn't have the game. So
I cared because I thought it looked cool.
you can
I
buy
mean, yeah.
a Pokemon Snap Station kiosk right now for $7,000.
Oh jeez, that's more than I would have actually thought. I would have guessed like in the $2,000 range.
I thought I saw one for 130, but that's literally just a bracket part for one.
Jeez.
Yep.
Back in the good old days. But yeah, that was Snap Pokemon Stadium.
Pokemon Snap.
Snap. Yeah, Pokemon Snap. To print out the stuff. Yeah. Back when they used to do cool thing with games. And now
Yeah.
it's literally like play our game, give us your money, move on to the next one.
Not even. It's play our game, give us money. Oh, guess what? Our game's not complete. Give us more money. Fuck you.
Update.
Keep playing. Keep giving us money. Yeah. Here's a 500 gig update. Fuck your storage space.
Right?
Oh, here,
you
buy the
wanted more than
expansion
one
pack.
game? It's like, no, thank you. We're done here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Netflix took over, and now streaming services are a thing. I distinctly remember the Blockbuster actual store near me being around right up until like the end because they filed for bankruptcy in 2010.
That was
Yeah,
there
yeah.
for a bit. Like,
And
it
I
was
think,
right up there.
If I'm not mistaken, there still is one in existence right now. And
Oh, really?
that is the one that the Netflix show, ironically, is based off of.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's got the one who plays Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine in it.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that when
and
I was flipping through the article.
Melissa Formo or something like that.
I don't know, yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, I forget her
Yeah.
name. I've seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine so much you'd think I'd know all their names by now.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
comes
know
up
their
in the
names, I
intro
just know their
credits.
characters.
Yeah.
It's my favorite, one of my favorite intro scene or intro musics, and I wish that it was like a full-fledged song.
it's just police music, honestly.
I was gonna say it's like 007 or like Mission Impossible almost is pretty close.
Yeah,
to it.
along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so good. But yeah, I don't necessarily recommend. I'm not putting my stamp on Blockbuster, the TV show. It's just not that great.
No, not good.
There's a couple like YouTube videos that you can watch that literally give all the information about how Blockbuster went under and stuff. If you're interested, go check those out. Because honestly, it's interesting how like they went downhill really fast after started doing like free trials and stuff like that, and to try and drive
it was
business.
a bummer.
Yeah, in reality, it was just people trying to screw over the system and get free stuff. And because they stopped doing a lot of late fees, then they're just completely went on. They filed in bankruptcy in 2010.
Wow.
Which seems like not that long ago, but in reality, it was 13 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep. That's quite a long time.
Yeah.
But
I was like 16 years old.
Yeah. No, you weren't.
No, we weren't.
You
How
were
old am
not
I?
16.
How old am I? 20.
You're
I'm 29.
17, maybe? Yeah. I think you were 17, right?
Well, 13 years. I'm 29 right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
I was 16. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was 16 in 2010, bro.
Yeah,
I was 2 years away from graduation of high school.
Susan was like in her late 40s.
I was in my late 40s last episode.
No, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Well, you were born in the 1930s, right? So you had to have been at least 80.
I mean,
So,
that's how
you look
math
great
works.
for your age, by the way.
I know, thanks.
90 something. Jeez.
Oh man. Well, I
Or
think
this is what my mom's favorite thing.
just scratch
I do-
your nose.
So I want to. This is like a
Here we go.
call to action right now for
Should I brace
our
myself?
like 5 listeners. No, because so I have a very distinct memory of renting a game from Blockbuster. I have no goddamn clue what it was called, but it was sick. So it was on PlayStation 1. Yeah,
Sure.
it was sick. And it was like a racing game, but you were racing these things that kind of looked like motorcycles, but there was like this plasma aspect to them, and like instead of wheels, it was like plasma magic bullshit going on. And when you took turns and stuff, there was this concept of you could grab onto an obstacle. Like if there was a branch hanging above the track, you could grab onto it and spin around it, but you grabbed onto it with like a plasma hook thing or something like that. It was super weird. And so basically if there's like a tree on a curve, you could hook onto it to get a tight turn and stuff like that. And it was like this racing game, and it was like super cool. And
Yeah, I have no idea what
Yeah.
the really funny thing is when you started describing that, my brain went, "Oh my god, you played a motorcycle game for the PS1, didn't you?" And I'm like trying to remember what it was called. It was called Moto Racer. It was actually for the computer.
oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my god, I remember this game.
Moto
Anyway, yeah, Moto Racer. Not to steal your story.
Right,
but
no,
I
no,
went
it's all
looking
good.
I went looking for it, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
There was
Whoa.
Moto Racer on the PS1 though, apparently.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the one you were talking about.
No, because this was like they're not. It's like futuristic. It's like it was like stuff. It was set in the future where there's like plasma vehicles. I don't know. That's kind of what it looked like. And each racer had their own like color, and you know, like this dude's plasma would be orange. This person's plasma would be purple, and their bikes had a certain style to them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so this is a call to action. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, put it in the comments of whatever platform you're listening to,
because there's this like Jet Moto.
There's Extreme G.
There were so many motorcycle games for PS1.
yeah, that's why I hesitate to call it a motorcycle game, because then you're just going to be flooded with actual motorcycle games instead of this weird futuristic.
Yeah. Jet Moto seems to be the future, like very futuristic looking.
Oh, is it?
Where it doesn't, you don't have
hovercrafts
wheels.
which can traverse
Road
land
Rash.
and water. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let's start playing.
Oh, did we find it already?
That'd be funny.
Yeah, screw the commenters. Let's go. We're doing it on our own. We can take this time to let everyone know if you do want to comment or anything. You can go to YouTube and check out our video there. We're
don't
doing
think
a video
it's-
version of this.
I don't know. I don't think it's Jet Moto,
Just
but
so you
I'm
can see my
gonna.
face for the first time.
Yes, all of our faces for the first time. If you're listening, I'm gonna do a part at the very beginning saying that we have a video podcast that go to YouTube for it. So they should already know, but if not, head over there. Check
I'm gonna
us
have
and
to
subscribe.
emulate. I'm gonna have to emulate Jet Moto and see what it's about. See if
I don't want
that's.
the
I don't.
YouTube.
It doesn't look that familiar, but
All
it looks
right.
cool though.
But yeah, honestly, I don't know what to do for our 1-star review for this. Do either of you remember, like, maybe a movie you got from Blockbuster that was absolutely terrible?
Yes,
What movie?
I talked about it already. The fucking
Blair
Blair
Witch
Witch
Project?
Project was the
You didn't say it
biggest
was
ripoff ever.
terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean,
didn't.
I talked about the movie, but I didn't say it was terrible. But yeah, that was. I mean, everybody I think can
Okay,
just
the
agree that.
1-star reviews are the VHS tapes or the DVDs that when you put it into your system, it didn't work.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
that's a
Those
risk,
were
man.
the worst. When you're like so excited to watch this movie, you put it in, and it's like, this doesn't
Nope.
work.
Nice
doesn't
try.
work.
Sorry.
At least for me, like my parents would be like, "All right, let's get in the car and take that 5-minute drive and go throw this in somebody's face," but not really.
See, we
that
didn't
was
get
more
that
like number
luxury.
2 of like,
Yeah,
oh, I have to return this film.
Yeah, but you have to be. But when that happens, then you get a little anxious, and you have to be very explicit. Like, this did not work when I got it home. I did not break it.
Oh
You
no,
know,
I was
like,
like going on to like the second part. If it wasn't the broken disc or VHS, number 2 star was just returning the film because
I got
you
you.
no longer had it to watch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Having to give it back. That I always felt that. So like, I'm not a big movie watcher in general, but I'm also not a big movie rewatcher. So once I watch a movie, I'm like pretty whatever. Like, all right, cool, I watched it. But games, having to return games sucked because then you're like, and especially on like the
All that
PlayStation
progress you
One.
earned.
Well, yeah,
Only
but you're
saying.
like, man, do I delete the save from my memory card to give some room because they're 8 kilobytes on the PlayStation One?
Oh
So
yeah,
you're like looking at the
megabytes.
picture of Crash Bandicoot's face, like, do I delete it?
Oh, the games
What
are
if
8 kilobytes. Yeah,
No, no, no.
Mhm.
The
saves.
memory
Well,
cards hold a grand total of 8 kilobytes. Yeah.
Megabytes.
Oh, was it megabytes?
It
Sorry.
was megabytes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I have a
Eight mega.
distinct memory of the memory card saying 8 MB on them and not
Yeah.
understanding what MB stood for
Oh, okay.
and thinking the B was just blocks. And like if you look in it, you can see they're separated. And my stupid ass head as a kid thought, okay, there's 8 blocks in here, and they saved them in those little blocks.
Well, so I
Um,
think you're talking about the.
Maybe PS2
I think you're talking
ones.
about the PS2. Yeah. Because PS1, actually, the PS1 ones directly from Sony, they don't even have a size on them. They're just the light gray.
They're just the gray one. Yeah.
They don't say a size on them.
No, not the Sony ones. There are some aftermarket.
Oh.
This one says 1 mega.
I thought
That's
they
That's all it
did.
says.
I
1
have to look in
mega.
my
Looks like-
basement.
According to this site, they used
1
to
megabyte.
be 128 kilobytes.
Oh, Jesus, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so anyways, I was almost there. But
Alright,
yes,
man, I was
eight
not.
megabytes. You're right on the PlayStation 2 because I remember
Yep.
seeing 8 megabytes on the PlayStation 2 ones. Yeah, but
Yeah,
so you've got 128 kilobytes to work with, and you're looking at Crash Bandicoot's face like, man, do I delete him? What if I get that game or something? I
Yeah.
don't want to. I don't know, but
Start from
but
scratch.
I gotta make room for Spyro, man. Like,
Wait, if
You
you
know?
guys both play Crash Bandicoot, did either of you play Crash Team Racing?
no.
Oh my god, that was
I
like
did
my
not.
favorite game as a kid. Used to like
no, Lego
it was
Racers
Mario
is where it's
Kart.
at.
It was Mario Kart, but with
Yeah.
Crash people, and it was so good. There's like this battle mode where you're just in like a square and you're fighting against other people.
I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I probably like played it at friends' houses, but again,
Mhm.
only 3 games on the PS1.
That's right. Yeah, you did say
So-
that.
No.
Yeah, we used to play the heck out of it. That was another one where we'd rent it all the time.
Yeah, we have to do a PlayStation 1 episode soon.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Easy.
oh man,
There's an easy episode there. Just pick our
Yeah,
favorites.
Nintendo
and go at it.
64 with GoldenEye.
oh.
That was
I never
the best
played
game.
GoldenEye. I played the hell out of Super Mario 64 though.
No, whenever I would come visit my cousins and we'd of course all unite at our grandma's house, and so my cousin would bring the Nintendo 64 to my grandma's, and we hook it up on a TV, which is also the wood panel TV, and we all both take turns playing GoldenEye, and it was the best day ever. Because GoldenEye was where it's at.
Back in the day, I used
Back
to do
in the
that
day.
at my relative's house and play Vice City as a child. That was,
Oh. Oh
yeah,
man.
those are the days. Not having a care.
Those were
in
the days.
world. Yeah, but I think we've sufficiently talked about Blockbuster since we're already getting off topic again.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
was gonna say, did we sufficiently talk about Blockbuster, or did we,
I
We
think we
put
did.
little
skim by
blurbs in
Blockbuster a bit and then just yeah?
I thought
started
I
talking
think
about
we
it.
talked
into it.
about plenty of stories having to do with Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single thing wrong with anything anyone talked about.
I'm counting on you guys to find that game for me. Not you guys, the listeners.
No, the listeners.
Fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fans.
The listeners or watchers.
Yes. If you know,
There
go
you
to YouTube and type it in the comment section, because I'd be curious to know if we could find it. I think it wouldn't be that hard.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank you everyone for watching or listening, depending on however you're getting to this. Make sure you go to YouTube, slap that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I forget what the other one is. What is it?
Beat
Turn
the
on
shit out of the
notifications.
little bell.
The bell, the notification
Yeah.
button. Turn on all the notification buttons.
Ring,
Just anything you
ring.
find, just click on. And
Just put that shit 6 feet under.
We'll see you guys next week.
Alright.
Have a nice rest of your day or night or morning. I guess whatever.
Or drive to work, whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.